Have you seen the little piggies crawling in the dirt? And for all the little piggies, life is getting worse, always having dirt to play around in. Have you seen the bigger piggies in their starched white shirts? You will find the bigger piggies sitting in the dirt, always have clean shirts to play around in their sties with all their backing. They don't care what goes on around. In their eyes, there's something lacking. What they need's a damn good whacking. Everywhere there's lots of piggies living piggy lives. You can see them out for dinner with their piggy wives, clutching forks and knives to eat the bacon.
By the way, Charlie, I listened to your music. It was shit.
It's evil! Don't touch it!
It's alive!
I was with you.
They're coming to get you. By the power of Christ.
This is
Me?
Hello, Mr. Fancy Pants.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another show. This is going to be a fun one. I feel like just right off the bat with what's going on here.
Shenanigans. That's what's going on here.
Slightly awkward. Shenanigans. I'm going to pistol whip.
I know we've recorded episodes in the past with Todd being here, but it's the first time we've ever been in the same room. It's kind of weird. We can smell each other's farts and stuff, so it's kind of weird.
It's weird, like
It's good, weird, funny, weird.
As long as there's no more.
Okay.
Oing, oing, oing.
Okay.
Anyway.
Now I see what it's got to do with
what does
gay
any
porn.
of this have to do with gay porn?
Hopefully nothing.
And Todd is pushing buttons today.
This will be eventful.
This is going to be
Okay.
very eventful.
Can't wait.
We'll see.
So, welcome back, everybody, for joining us. And how are you doing, Zach?
I'm on vacation, man, so fuck, I'm wonderful. It's nice.
Nice. Lindy?
I am doing great.
lies.
I am
She's trying not to be
also
ashy.
on vacation, but I'm glad I'm not at home because Lindy bought another Jeep and she's, gonna do some like really weird girl Jeep things. So I'm glad I'm not there so she can accomplish these without scarring my psyche.
How many Jeeps does one need, Lindy?
Well,
Apparently two?
More than one.
One
my
can never
goal,
have enough Jeeps.
We need one for
my goal
Monday.
is to have one of every class.
Okay, so one for
Okay.
Monday, one
So,
for
like-
Tuesday, one for Wednesday.
So she needs a broke down one in the backyard, a halfway running one
that one's for Sunday,
on the street,
so she don't have to go nowhere.
one strictly for off-roading, one for looking cool going to dine, and another one to just show I got money and fuck you.
One that
I
spits
thought
out
from what you were
$100
saying,
bills
she
out of the
needed one for
exhaust
math, one for science, one for algebra.
Don't forget about the
No,
one for
I
Spanish.
mean-
She needs a STEM
Spanish.
Jeep. A STEM Jeep.
There you go.
El Jeepo.
I mean, like a CJ
I think
and a
it's
TJ, and an
YJ.
XJ, and a
You mean a
JL, and a
K.
YJ.
Oh, what the heck?
In a Y2K.
And I have to have two CJs because I need a 5 and a 7.
Well, of course, everyone does.
Mm-hmm.
You going for all round headlights too? You don't want the square headlights, do you? I don't want the square headlights
No,
as
I
much.
don't want the square headlights.
Those would be like
I
96
don't want.
and older, 95.
Yeah, so the one that I just got, it is the TJ, and it's a 98. So
Straight six, I'm assuming.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, with the half doors and the bikini top, and she's really pretty.
She had me at
And she's a
bikini
lot
top.
of fun. Yeah. She had me at bikini top too. Apparently, because she made it into my driveway last night.
You will be mine.
Mm-hmm. Yep, exactly.
Oh.
Exactly. I thought on it for about a week and I was like, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to do it.
The half doors are pretty great, but the Jeep I had the full doors, but it had a hard top and a soft top. I never once put the soft top on it. It was just, it parked in the garage, and if it was a nice day, I would drive it. So the hard top was hardly ever on it either, and except it was the wintertime. That's the only time I'd be on there. It's just like no top at all. So I did get caught out in the rain a couple times, but it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
Still
Well,
made it home.
this one's been stripped of the carpet. It's been rhino-lined on the inside. So
There you go. Spray it out. Manual.
Yep.
What does any of this have to do with gay porn?
It's a stick show.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Wait, what?
I don't know. I don't know if that has anything to do with it or not.
Well, let's see. We did 3 weeks of MK Ultra, and then we went way deep into Charlie Manson, and we're on the 3rd week of Charlie Manson.
We are on the 3rd week of Charlie Manson, and at the end of this, I am going to make an offer to
That
our
we can't refuse.
listeners. To our listeners.
There we
So
go.
it's up to them
Oh, wow.
if we can refuse this or not.
They pulled me back, pulled me right back.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
I honestly cannot remember where we left off last week. This week has been a solid ball
okay, so
of numbers.
last week,
You
They
you
moved
did talk
around a
about the
lot,
house that they
and
were
then
supposed
they
to go
ended up
to
at
from
one
the.
place,
Okay,
and
so-
then they didn't do the one thing.
they never learned not to love. And then we decided that Bob Dylan probably should have sang that song. And then I do like that version better. I think we decided that we were at the point where
Hey, Zach, what
The
color
Beach
is
Boy-
this cup?
Huh?
What color is this cup?
fuck you.
I think the record executive that shot Charlie down was living in a home, but no longer lived in that home. But Charlie didn't know about it.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, well, he'd come back from the desert, I think.
Yeah.
Brian Wilson had tried to coerce him back to coming back from the desert from Grandma's place.
Yes. Yep.
And
Yep.
and he had just gotten back to Spawn Ranch, I believe. And that's where
right.
we're at. And he's pissed off, but he knows he can't do anything to Brian.
Yes.
And Melcher
that's right.
is on the way, right?
Melcher.
Or Melcher is...
That's paragraph 2. So Melcher's on his way.
Okay, there we go.
Right on.
That's where we're at.
All right. That's where we're at.
Melcher's on the way.
And as soon as Todd is done serenading us, I will get started.
All right, stop.
Collaborate and listen. Zach is back with a brand new.
How about no?
Pushing the buttons.
There was no button.
He's got a lot of buttons he can push.
Turn off the lights. Now go. Do the experience.
How about no?
Like a vandal.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
Stop.
Charlie started taking small groups of the family out creepy crawling. They would enter a home without waking the sleeping residents. They would move furniture in the home or possessions around a bedroom and then slink away. In mid-March of 1969, Melcher finally agreed to come out to Spawn Ranch and listen to Charlie play. So the family cooked and cleaned, and Charlie bathed. He groomed and dressed in his buckskin outfit.
Been a horse trough.
Everything was planned right down to the angle that Melcher would sit. The day came, Melcher didn't.
Ooh.
I'm so sorry. Could not make it today. I come back later.
They make pills for that.
Mm-hmm.
And make bills for Obviously, this put Charlie in a really bad place. He had let the family see how much that Melcher's visit had meant to him, and Melcher basically spit in his face. This also showed the family that Charlie could, in fact, be wrong, and he could fail.
That's not good for your flock.
Dun, dun,
Right.
dun. Yes. On March 23rd, Charlie went to the house on Cielo Drive to confront Melcher.
All right, then.
Sarok Hatimi looked out into the yard.
What'd you call me?
All right, enough of that. I'm gonna cut you off from the buttons, man. Hold on.
He looked out into the yard on. Fuck. Here we go. And he saw a little long-haired man walking around like he owned the place. Little. Hatami went outside and asked the man what he wanted.
And he said, "Hey man, I need to take a shit, but I need a bucket because if you put me on a stool, my feet are gonna hang off."
Did you guys know that the song "Tiny Dancer" was wrote about?
Here we go.
Hold Me Closer, Tony Danza.
It was actually originally
Hold me closer, Charlie Manson.
Charlie Manson. Yeah, that's what it was called eventually. And he was like, "No, he's gonna want some of the cut," so he changed it to "Tiny Dancer" because, well, fair enough.
No, then it went from that to Tony Danza, but he was like, who the fuck, why are we going to put a baseball player's name in here? Little did we know. He'd be the boss.
Who's the boss?
Mm-hmm. Who?
The little man said he was looking for Melcher, but Hatami didn't know the name. He thought maybe someone else might know, so he said, "This is the Polanski residence," and Hatami directed him to the person who was staying in the guest house, which was on Cielo Drive. The owner, Rudy Altobelli, he was part of what Roman Polanski and Sharon Tate were doing, like their movies and stuff. So he traveled with them a lot, and they hired a young man to stay in the guest house when they weren't there.
Now, didn't they share a driveway with Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think Leonardo DiCaprio was supposed to be the caretaker in the movie. So
nice. Okay, I didn't know that.
Hatami told him that the person that was staying in the guest house might know the person that Charlie was looking for, and Hatami pointed Charlie to the guest house. Sharon Tate actually came out onto the patio, and her and Charlie stared at each other for a little while. And then Charlie, yeah, hopefully not. Ugh.
I wouldn't think so. She was pregnant, super pregnant, wasn't she? Plus, he's an ugly bastard. She was beautiful.
Yeah.
Women do strange things when they're pregnant.
Charlie broke eye contact, and he went down to the path to the guest house. The person in the guest house at this time actually was Rudy Altobelli, and he knew who Charlie was, and he didn't like Charlie. He couldn't stand him. So he told Charlie that Melcher had moved out, and he sent Charlie away. Naturally, this pissed Charlie off again. So Charlie just decided that he was going to start reaching out to Melcher. And after several attempts, Melcher finally agreed to come out in May. This time, Melcher showed. He listened to what Charlie's had to play for him and told Charlie that he would talk to a guy he knew. This guy's name was DC. This guy had a recording van, and he liked a recording van.
Mm-hmm.
And he liked Indian tribal music. So DZ might come out to listen to him. And then Melcher handed Charlie $50 because he felt really bad for the conditions at the house, and he could see the kids and running around in dirty clothes and dirty diapers. So he was like, man, at least fucking take care of the kids.
And by the way,
like,
Ricky,
that's where that $50 is going.
Yeah.
Them kids look like a bunch of ragamuffins. Do something about it, Charlie. Do something about it.
Charlie knew that Melcher just basically told him no, but instead of going with that, he lied to the group, and he said that Melcher gave him a signing bonus and that he would be coming back with a recording van. On
was
June
Charlie the record executive?
Right.
Hey man, this guy just gave me 50 doll hairs, and he's gonna come back and give me about 100,000 more doll hairs.
On June 6th, Melcher came back with DC. They listened, and somebody slipped DC some LSD, and he had a really bad trip. Melcher actually had to carry DC back to the car, which effectively ended Charlie's chance with DC at anything.
You know that was done on purpose. It's like, this is going to help Charlie out if we give him some of this. And the dude has that horrible trip, but they're like, shit, backfire.
Backfire.
Man, them
Melcher
band
did-
sessions really sucked. I don't know what the hell was going on.
Melcher did turn Charlie down, but Charlie told the family that Melcher had offered him a contract, but then Melcher betrayed Charlie again and went back on his word. So now the family knows. Yeah, so now the family knows that the record deal is not going to go through with Melcher. Charlie gave up on hiding his anger after this. He was mad all of the time. We all know that when Charlie's mad, girls get abused. So he starts beating the girls.
And dot your I and steal your bike.
Billy.
Creepy crawl teams were told to start taking things. Melcher's home was found and a team was sent there. They took a telescope off of the back porch. It was never, well, I mean, obviously it was connected at some point, but at that time it wasn't connected that this was part of the creepy crawls. Charlie also suggested that the groups start tying people up and scaring them to death or kidnapping them.
So fucking stupid.
Yeah, Charlie was getting to the point of redundancy and idiocy, I'm going to say. I'm not really sure why, but some followers started to defect, and Charlie couldn't have that, so he really wanted to get the family back out to Death Valley. In order to do that, he needed more money, so he had Tex call his dealer lady. Her name was Luella. And Tex told her that he had 25 kilos of premium weed if she had a buyer. He did also tell her that he would need $2,500 as a deposit up front. There was no weed, obviously. Tex intended to burn her. So, but Luella, was able to get a buyer, and his name was Lots of Papa. Lots of Papa.
Not lots of mama, lots of papa.
Lots of Papa.
Real ingredients, real pizza.
Lots of Papa did give her the $2,500 as the deposit, but instead of just, taking that as a thing, Lots of Papa decided that he was going to hold Luella captive until he got his weed.
Well, yeah, fair enough.
It's a lot of money.
It is a lot of money.
Yeah. So Charlie,
it's a lot of weed.
Yeah, it's a lot of weed. Yeah. Charlie and TJ Wallman went to get the girl. Charlie had a gun in his waistband, and Wallman was supposed to pull it out and shoot when Charlie gave the command. But Wallman panicked, so Charlie had to shoot Lots of Papa. Lots of Papa had told Charlie that he was...
Oh, he actually did something himself?
I didn't think he ever did, but...
He did.
Yeah.
He did.
Wow.
Lots of Papa had told Charlie that he was part of the Black Panthers, so now Charlie is super paranoid that the Black Panthers are going to come after him.
Yeah, probably if they knew, yes.
Yeah, well, Lots of Papa wasn't actually a part of the Black Panthers, so this started a whole panic streak for nothing.
Just paranoia, man. Just not stopping.
Yes. Gypsy recruited Linda Kasabian? There we go, Kasabian, who was staying with Charlie Melton. Linda, when she decided to take off, she stole $5,000 from Melton and went to the ranch. Charlie was trying really hard to find Brian Wilson. He was leaving him phone messages. He was sending notes.
He was being ignored.
He figured out where Wilson lived, and he went and just left a bullet.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Hinman sold Busele $1,000 in mescaline tabs that the straight Satans said were bad. So Busele was going to go to see Hinman for a refund and let him know, like, hey, you sold me bunk mescaline. And Charlie suggested that maybe Busele ask for a bit more than $1,000 for the inconvenience.
Mm-hmm.
So Busele, Davis, Atkins, and Brunner went to Hinman's house. Hinman, knowing who they were and knowing that they were usually good customers because of the straight Satans, invited them in.
That. I want to know what their logo is because I want a shirt.
Dude, all I imagine is the SS emblem from the Nazis.
Oh no, I don't want a shirt. Never mind.
No.
I'm good. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Shit.
So after a little bit of time of hanging out, Busele finally confronted Hinman over the $1,000 and the bad drugs. But before he did that, Susan Atkins held a gun on Hinman. And Hinman kept telling Busele that, like, hey, I don't have any money. Like, those drugs weren't bad. I don't know what you want. And Busele was looking around. Like, so Susan's got a knife or a gun pointed at Hinman. Hinman's just kind of hanging out. Bobby's looking around. Busele's looking around, trying to find things that are worth, $1,000 or more. Hinman, while Busele was looking around, tried to get the gun from Susan, but Busele was able to jump in. During the struggle, the gun went off and it hit the kitchen cabinet and lodged under the cabinet. Busele then beat Hinman, and Hinman signed over pink slips on 2 of his cars.
I'll do it.
While Hinman
he wasn't getting around.
While Hinman and Susan were going through this struggle, Davis went back and got Charlie. Charlie brought a sword, and then Hinman...
Not just any sword, it was a sword given to him by a straight Satan.
Yes.
Not
yes,
the homosexual ones, the straight ones.
He was holding it. It was actually just a knife. But
That was a goddamn sword. I tell you, it was a sword because I said it was a sword. I don't care if I'm like 3 foot tall. I'm a wee leprechaun.
When Hinman still denied having money, Charlie cut the left side of his face, which actually took most of his ear, cut most of his ear off. Mm-hmm.
So this was like an honest to God leprechaun sword then.
Yes.
it was something.
Charlie left.
Could be only one.
By the way, Charlie, I saw your movie about that sword. It was shit.
Sorry, I can't help it.
It was straight satanic shit.
So Charlie left, and Busele and Susan stayed still, and they beat Hinman for the next 2 days. Hinman continuously told Busele that he didn't have any money, and then he made the mistake of telling him that when he and the girls left, he was going to call the police. So Busele called Charlie.
Yeah. Good call on that. Probably just shut up about that. Probably let it go. Just wait.
Busele called Charlie, and Charlie told him to kill him. He knew what to do. So Charlie also told...
I bet he didn't even say kill him. I bet he said, you know what to do.
Yeah. Probably. So, but Charlie also told him, pin the murders on the Black Panthers.
Oh, yeah.
So Busele stabbed Hinman multiple times and then used his blood to press a paw print on the wall with "Political Piggy" written above it.
Because that's what the Black Panthers do. Okay.
Yeah. The group did a sloppy job when they were wiping the prints away, and Busele stored the murder weapon in the wheel well of the car that he kept for his own use.
Super fucking smart people.
Yeah, good idea.
Yeah. So they go back to Spawn Ranch.
No rivers around or anything, or ponds or lakes. I'll just put it in the wheel well. Yeah, it's be fine.
Yeah.
I'll just put it in the glove box. Just leave it there. It's cool. Nobody's going to check. It'll be all right.
So he and Susan went back to Spawn Ranch. and they were listening to the radio for news of the murders to come about, but nothing ever came onto the news. So Busole decided that he was going to go back to the house and see what was going on. No one had been to the house, so he actually tried to wipe the prints away and the paw print and couldn't. And in doing that, he left another print. Shocker.
Fucking genius. So stupid.
And then when Busole went back to the ranch, he was boasting about the murders, and Susan needed a ton of attention, so she was also boasting about them, which upset quite a few followers who deflected. Hinman was discovered on July 31st, and so was a clean fingerprint at the scene.
Mm-hmm.
Police put out an APB on the vehicles that were missing from Hinman's house. And
What were they?
I didn't write it down.
Ah, shit. Okay.
Oh, one of them was a Fiat.
Yeah.
I can tell you that. So Busole went on the run.
That was the one he stored the gun in the wheel well,
too.
and was the Fiat. Yeah.
Yeah. So Busole went on the run, but the Fiat obtained from him and broke down in
Of course it
San
did. It's a
Luis
Fiat.
Obispo. And police there did a routine check on the car. Busole was arrested and they found the knife. He told police he had just bought the car from a black guy, but his prints matched the bloody print found at the scene.
Oh, yeah.
Charlie,
make you fucking sit in the corner, dude. Chill out.
I'm a ventriloquist. I can make noises.
Charlie asked the family.
You're grounded pretty bad.
I know. I'm just going to say this right now. I'm sorry, Lindy, but I cannot stop myself. There's too many things that are lit up in front of me, and I'm just Tommy Toggle over here. Ooh, what's this do? Ooh, what's this do?
At this point, I'm just going to tell the listeners that I still have 11 pages to get through, and we're already in a half hour, so I'm real sorry. Charlie asked the
Let's
family.
not be a Fiat and get on with it.
There you go.
During one of their acid powwow sessions, Charlie asked the family what they would do to free Busole, and copycat murders was probably the best Charlie heard. He sent Mary and Sandy out to get some things, but they were arrested for using stolen credit cards.
Mm-hmm.
Charlie started to panic, and he announced that Helter Skelter had begun, and he went to find Tex.
Yeah.
It has begun.
It has begun. The family believed that they needed to aid in the coming of the new era, and they wanted Busole free. They felt Charlie's idea of copycat murders were acceptable for the greater good.
The greater good.
The greater good.
The greater good.
Tex had been acting like the second in command for a while, and Charlie needed a fall guy. He told Tex that he owed the family because of the botched drug deal, and the women would need a man to guide them.
Oh, okay.
Tex high.
Tex. I thought you said Todd said that.
No. Tex, high out of his fucking mind, agreed and felt like he deserved this chance. Charlie selected Susan, Pat, and Linda to aid Tex. The girls thought that they were getting to go on a creepy crawl for their first time. They left on August 8th, 1969. But when they arrived...
It certainly was.
When they arrived at Cielo Drive, Tex cut the phone lines. He made the girls follow him over the fence, and then he told them that they were going to kill the people in the house.
Oh, yeah, just in case you guys were wondering, yeah, we're not just stealing stuff and moving stuff around to be funny, okay? It's crazy. I know it's crazy, but here's what we're going to do. We're going to murder every motherfucker in there. You guys down? Let's go. Let's do it.
You heard of a creepy crawl, right, man? This is like a super duper creepy crawl right here.
So you mean to tell me you have 10 more pages of brutality, or are we going to just like...
No, probably brutality, a lot of brutality.
A visitor of the caretakers was leaving the guest house and had to stop his car to open the gate. Tex emerged from the bushes and he slashed out with a knife and cut the teenager's arm. The teenager that had been visiting was Stephen Parent. Then Tex shot him point blank 4 times.
And some of this, I mean, I've heard this story, and some of this is just like, so nobody heard that? Like,
they were
actually.
Okay, that's uncalled for. Because of the unique shape of the canyon, I guess, like, a lot of people did not hear
the echoes?
This. Yeah. Like, wait. I'm going to ground you.
A patrol. So there was a neighbor who woke up and thought that she heard gunshots, but she woke up at the tail end, so she only heard one. And then she didn't hear anymore. So she thought maybe it had been a car, so she didn't say anything.
Yeah.
A patrol officer thought he heard shots and called in a report, but no officers were dispatched. Let me say this really fast. When he called in this report, the 2 officers who were told that there may have been gunshots fired, who didn't go out to do anything, also said, well, fuck, I hope there's not any murders tonight.
Word is that you're an old woman. Word is you have turkey in the sky. Word is, I don't know what word is.
Linda went down to the gate to keep watch, and Tex entered an open front window. Susan and Pat followed him. They found Wojtek Frykowski asleep on the living room couch. Tex told Susan to check the rest of the house for more people, and his hushed voice woke Frykowski up. Frykowski asked, "Who are you and what do you want?" Tex kicked him in the head and replied, "I'm the devil, and I'm here to do the devil's business."
You've been waiting 2 fucking weeks for that shit. I know you have.
Frykowski tried to ask another question, but Tex said, "Another word and you're dead." Susan walked past the guest room where Abigail Folger was reading. Folger assumed that Susan was a guest, and she waved to Susan, and Susan gave her a single finger wave back.
By the way, Abigail Folger was the heiress to the Folgers coffee.
Folgers coffee.
This isn't the best part of waking up. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, no shit, right?
The one
it's a little
wave
Tex
is
in your
creepy because I think red rum. Red rum.
Susan walked further down the hall to the main room where Sharon Tate and Jay Sebring were in a deep conversation, and they didn't notice her. Susan went back to Tex with her findings, and he told her to bring them to him. So she went back to Folger.
I'm picturing like a movie, like they're sitting there talking like on a bed, like they're talking back and forth, and all you see is like some creepy bitch just walk by a door that's open in the background, and they don't pay any attention to it. It's like
a creepy bitch with tiny boobies.
So, I was just always more impressed with sports than I was anything else that Huey and the News ever did. It was a great album, but, they really didn't shine and show what they really had until they came out with their next album,
It wasn't until Back to the Future that they really hit their stride.
So Susan went back to Folger, and she brandished her knife and ordered her to the living room. Pat held her there at knife point. Then Susan went to the main room, telling Tate and Sebring to come with me and don't say a word or you're dead. When they got to the living room, Susan tied up Frykowski with a towel, and Tex tied up Sebring and Tate with a rope. So he tied Sebring first, and then he threw the rope up over a beam in the ceiling down and tied up Tate. So they were connected at the ceiling.
Not a bad way to do things, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
As far as
not
evil
from
goes,
the
I
window
guess.
to the wall, but from the ceiling to the floor.
Sweating,
Yeah.
sweat dripping down my balls.
Tate was crying and Tex told her to shut up. Sebring turned around and snapped at him and said, "Can't you see she's pregnant?"
Shut up.
And
Shut up.
Is that a baby you got there?
And Tex shot him in the abdomen. Then Tex demanded all the money in the house. Folger said she had some, and Susan followed her to the bedroom.
Was it in a coffee can?
Folger reached into her wallet, and she had about $70. This pushed Tex over the edge. He was furious, and Tate was pleading with him and said, you know, if they were given just a little bit of time, she could get him however much he wanted. Sebring groaned on the floor, and Tex descended on him and stabbed him 7 times.
That'll do.
Folger and Tate started begging for their lives, and Frykowski was able to get free of his ties because remember, Susan had only tied him up with a towel.
Mm-hmm.
So he fought with Susan, and Tex shot him a few times, but Frykowski was able to make it out to the lawn. Tex followed him out and stabbed him 51 times.
Think about that.
That's the wrong button, motherfucker.
Dude, I mean, seriously, 51 times just a stabbing motion. That's not holding a knife. That's not pulling it back out of something. 50, you'd be exhausted. What these guys had to have been on cocaine. They were on meth or something.
They were on meth. They were on
meth. Okay, meth. Yeah, because they weren't cool enough to have cocaine.
Yep. Folger was
cocaine would have been more chilled and just having a good time.
Yeah,
I'm just
Folger was also
big proponent
to get free, and she ran into the yard. Pat followed her and tackled her and stabbed her. Pat wasn't sure if she had actually killed her, so she called for Tex to make sure that Folger was actually dead. Tex told Pat to go and kill anyone that was in the guest house. Pat walked back there.
Go kill Kato.
She really didn't want to do this. This wasn't what she wanted to do. So she actually hid for a few minutes where Tex wouldn't be able to see her. She came back and she told Tex that she had looked in a window and there was nobody there. Tex had stabbed Folger.
Are we buying that though? That she just looked in the window and left? Are we buying that? I don't know.
Didn't even look in a window. She
but she said. But
she just went and hid from him. She didn't even look in there to see if anybody was there. Because if she had, she would have seen the kid that was staying in the guest house that night.
Okay.
That's what she said.
Exactly. I don't know.
So Folger was stabbed 28 times.
Jeez. Overkill.
All of them are overkill. I mean, they're killed, so it's definitely overkill. Back in the house, Susan begged for the baby's life, telling them to take her with them until she could deliver the baby and they could kill her after the baby was born. Charlie hadn't said
Lindy,
that they
why
could
do you always have to fucking do shit like this?
I know.
Right,
I know.
That's rough to hear. That is rough to hear. Take me with you until I give birth to this baby, then you can kill me.
Yeah.
Susan held Tate while Tex stabbed her, and he stabbed her 16 times. Susan took a towel she found and wrote "pig" with Tate's blood on the outside of the front door. Tex didn't feel like climbing the fence, so with a bloody index finger, he pushed the button to open the gate.
Dumbass.
Susan informed.
Was it the girl running outside that was saying "I'm already dead" as they was stabbing her? She was telling them. No. In real life, she was. One of the Manson girls said that one of them that they were killing was yelling at her, "I'm already dead. Like, leave me alone. I'm already dead."
I think that was actually not a girl. That was Lino.
Okay.
Okay.
So Susan decided to wait until they were already in the car to inform Tex that she had lost her knife at the house.
You had one job.
And in all of this, when Tex was hitting someone, he ended up hitting them with the butt of the gun, so it broke the handle of the gun. A few pieces had broken off. So that was still at the scene, and the knife was still at the scene. The three people in the car who actually were bloody, because Linda hadn't actually taken part in any of this. She was just out in the driveway the whole time. They changed their clothes and they tossed the old ones out of the window down a steep slope. Further down, they tossed the knives and gun. They stopped in a neighborhood and used the hose. Mm-hmm. The owner of the house, Rudolph Weber, came out and he didn't buy their story. So he tried to actually detain them. He tried to jump into the car window and take their keys and that kind of stuff, but he wasn't able to. He was, however, able to get the plate.
Lucky he lived after trying that shit with those nasty fuckers.
Yeah.
Is this the house where they were trying to use the garden hose to wash the blood off?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So when the group got back to Spawn, Charlie quizzed them and he didn't like their answers or that they only got $70. He made them clean the car. And then
hey, by the way, that's more than he got in his fucking advance. So shut the fuck up, Charlie.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that wasn't even an advance. That was take this and never talk to me again. Just fuck off and leave me alone. It's worth this for you just to leave me alone.
Yeah. So Charlie made the group clean the car, and then he went to the house on Cielo and he staged a more appealing scene. He wiped things down. He did a little bit more with the blood. He tipped stuff over. He attempted to make it look more like the Black Panthers had been involved.
Mm-hmm. He also dropped a set of prescription glasses as well, correct?
Yes, he did.
You mean the things
what a criminal mastermind
said they couldn't have?
Uh-huh.
That is correct, sir.
So Winifred Chapman arrived just after 8 a.m. for work at Cielo like she always did. When she entered the house, she saw blood. She went in through the service entrance, which basically went into the kitchen. And she looked at the refrigerator and she noticed that there was something written on the fridge in what looked like red paint. It wasn't. It was Helter Skelter and it was written in blood.
Spelled
Helter Skelter was spelled wrong. Yes. Yes.
Maybe they should have gone to Zoolander's Center for people who can't read good and stuff.
Winifred looked in the living room. She could only see over the couch, so she couldn't see the person that was on the couch or the two people or the other person that was.
Sorry. It just hit me. This was like, hey Tex, how many of these are in Helter Skelter? Is it just two? Is it just the two? Is it the two? Okay.
Hey, look in that fridge real quick. They got any fucking Tostino's pizza rolls? I'm fucking starving.
Fucking place looks like Ben Franklin's been here.
Yeah. Okay. We'll do
Chapman Winifred saw that the front door was open and she thought that she saw a body. At this point, she panicked. She fled down the driveway and then she looked back at the Rambler, the little car that was sitting by the gate buttons. And this time she did see a body.
Okay, Ramblers, let's get rambling.
Neighbors heard her screaming, murder, death, body, blood, and they called the police.
All right, we got our new death metal song right there.
Murder, death, body,
Police went through the house and then to the guest house. In the guest house, Garrettson was there and they immediately arrested him for murder. On their way to a squad car, the officer...
Easy job, boys. We got it.
Yeah. On the way to the squad car, the officer escorting him pushed the button to open the gate, erasing the bloody fingerprint that had been left there.
That's some fucking stellar police work right there.
How many?
Oh, this is the best fucking police work I've ever seen in my entire life.
They're not Canadian. Come on, let's not get that far. Let's not go that far.
Yeah. This police work is even better than the Villisca axe murders.
Oh my.
Yeah.
It can't be worse than Rocktario, though. It's like you only killed 2 kids, you're fine. 2 years.
Robert Fabian obviously was not available.
So, watching the news, Charlie realized there was no mention of race connection or connection to Hinman's murder. Helter Skelter couldn't start yet, and Beausoleil was no closer to being freed.
Nobody could tell what it fucking said. Spell it wrong. Idiot.
Hey, look, it's Heelter Skeel
I don't know what language this is. What is this?
That night, Charlie allowed the family to celebrate, but when he sent everyone off to bed, he kept Tex, Susan, Pat, Linda, Clem, and Leslie there with him. He told them that the night before they had done poorly. So they were going to go out and do it again tonight, only this time Charlie was going to go with them.
Y'all fuck this up. I don't know how I'm going to get a record deal if you don't just straighten shit up.
Charlie decided on a location on Waverly Drive after he had driven the family around for like 3 fucking hours. And the house was one that Susan and Tex used to party at, but the resident wasn't there any longer. But Charlie thought the neighbors would be a good target.
Of course.
The back door of the house was unlocked. Charlie and Tex entered. Lino LaBianca.
There was a murder next door how many days ago and they left the back door unlocked?
No. This was a different neighborhood. So there's the Cielo Drive murders, which is the rich, affluent area. The Waverly place is more, it's upper end middle class.
It's more middle though, right? These are more blue collar people that have done well through the sales.
Is this the house that's like supposedly haunted now too on Waverly Drive? Okay. Or Waverly Place, whichever one of the Drive Place Avenue Road.
The Wizards of Waverly Place?
Mm-hmm.
So Lino LaBianca was asleep on the couch. Charlie poked him with a gun barrel, waking him up. And Charlie told him in a calm, quiet voice that this was a robbery and ordered Lino to lay on his stomach. Tex tied Lino's hands with some... Okay, hold on.
Leather straps from same leather straps that they'd used to make Charlie's outfit.
Yes.
So they weren't big.
Charlie asked Lino who else was in the house, and Lino said that his wife was there. Tex guarded Lino
while you say that?
Charlie went to get Rosemary.
Nobody's here. God, no.
Charlie brought Rosemary back to the living room and asked for cash, and Tex was sent to the bedroom to get Rosemary's wallet. Charlie went to get Leslie and Pat, and he told them to take Rosemary back to the bedroom and told Tex to make sure everybody did something. Charlie left with the other family members.
All right, you're coming with me. We're all going to do something. It's called... Damn it, Todd, you moved my fucking boings.
Oy, 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 oy.
That's what they're going to do.
I have one job, and I've done it. I fucked shit up.
I'm hyped up now. Them fucking screws are going to get it with this. With the fucking screws, man.
Tex pulled a pillowcase over Lino's head and wrapped a lamp cord around his head and mouth, then did the same to Rosemary. Tex rammed a bayonet through Lino's throat and then stabbed him to death. Rosemary heard everything in the living room and was trying to get out of the bedroom. Pat attempted to stab her, but only connected a few times with super shallow cuts. I'm sorry, I said earlier that it was Lino who said that he was already dead. It was Rosemary.
There you go. Okay.
Tex came in and finished Rosemary with the bayonet. Lino
it's too bad it wasn't Rosemary's baby, eh?
Polanski.
Lino was actually still alive, so Tex stabbed him more. War was written in blood on Lino's abdomen. Pat jammed a carving fork into Lino's belly and a kitchen knife into his throat. Leslie hadn't helped yet, so Tex ordered her to stab Rosemary repeatedly in the buttocks and legs. They raided the house and fridge, wrote "Rise" and "Death to Pigs" on the walls. And
I don't know what rise. I don't know what the deal was with that. I'm sure it meant something, but I'm not exactly sure on that one. But
Charlie
the death of pigs. And,
I think rise has something to do with blackbirds. The song.
Okay.
Just like
I was gonna say, it's like witches have black masses.
You were
yeah.
You were always waiting for this moment to arise. I think is how it goes.
Oh yes, yep. Charlie drove through a colored neighborhood.
All right.
I don't know what we're doing now.
He could toss Rosemary's wallet, but decided to leave it in a gas station bathroom instead, so that a Black woman would find it, pick it up, try and use the cards, and she would get arrested for having it in.
Well, naturally, that's what's going to happen, right? That's some planning.
Charlie asked Linda to drive them all to the beach. So there's 4 of them left in the car. So he asked Linda to drive them to the beach so the 4 of them could walk around. While they were out on the beach, Linda told Charlie she was pregnant. Charlie decided they should go to Venice because Linda knew an actor there.
What was that there, Lindy? Huh? Well,
I'm putting
Charlie
myself on the
slip
scene.
or what? What's going on?
Yeah. I was just putting myself. I was really getting into the story.
She's had a nap. She's been awake for quite some time.
About 3 days. We're good. Yep. When they got to the apartment building of the person that Linda knew, Linda deliberately lied to Charlie and gave him directions to the wrong apartment. She had thought that Charlie was going to go there, but Charlie didn't. He directed this group to get invited into the home. Linda would slit the actor's throat and Clem would shoot him. Linda took them to the wrong apartment, and when
not one or the other, we need the combo here.
Yeah. So Linda did take them to the wrong apartment, and they knocked on the door, but it was an older woman who answered. And
she
when
said,
it wasn't
Mr. Superman, no, is here.
No, is here.
Yeah, that's exactly what she said. So Linda told the others that she must have forgotten where the actor lived. So instead of harming the woman, the group decided that they were going to walk back along the beach. They buried the gun and hitchhiked home. The other group that had been left at the La Biancas was already back. Los Angeles detectives wanted to connect the Hinman murder with the Tate murders, but LAPD were certain that the Tate murders were drug related, so it was dropped.
Now it was the sheriff's department, and then one was in the sheriff's department's jurisdiction, right? And the other one was in the LAPD.
Hollywood's.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
So that's why it takes a while.
They didn't communicate very well with each other back then.
It
takes a while.
Incommunicado.
Garrettson was given a polygraph. He passed it and was released, though the police still didn't believe that he hadn't heard anything while he was in the guest house. Charlie prepared the family for the move back to Death Valley. Tate's husband, Roman Polanski, was cleared as a suspect. Leno and Rosemary's teenage kids came home from a boating trip that they had been on, and they found their parents' bodies. LAPD claimed the Waverly murders were a copycat of the Cielo murders. There was no way that they could have been the same people.
Wrong answer.
A raid on Spawn Ranch to catch illegal activity had been planned by LAPD for August 13th, but was postponed to the 16th.
See, Spawn Ranch sounds so badass. I mean, I just love the name of it. I think probably because it's Todd McFarlane, but I just love the name Spawn Ranch. I gotta get home to see Wanda.
Charlie sent Linda to... Hold on. Where am I? Yeah. Charlie sent Linda to visit Beausoleil with a message. He wanted her to tell him that everything was going to be okay and they were taking the steps necessary to get him out. So keep quiet for a little longer. But Linda forgot her IDs and she couldn't get in. Charlie sent Tex and Diane Lake ahead to Death Valley. Charlie was now having problems with the straight Satans. Well, yes. But
you mean they're not a trustworthy organization?
Right?
Sounds like you should have signed with the leprechauns.
They were already pissed. They were already pissed about the botched drug deal that had happened back when it happened, and there was a member of the Straight Satans there, their bookkeeper, accountant type guy, who had actually, who had actually.
The Straight Satans have a bookkeeper.
Yeah.
Seems unnecessary.
Bro, they're straight, man. They're straight.
Hey, they had one book.
Rules,
one book.
We've got one book. Okay. And we need a keeper of the book.
Yeah. The bookkeeper's name was Danny DiCarlo, and he had actually been trying to join the family. Yeah, he was staying out at Spawn Ranch. Another guy, I can't remember his name now. I'm sorry. There's so many names in this.
It's like it's like Genesis in the Bible.
Yeah, there's
lots of names.
Too much. So at some point in time, I will get back to the name. It's in here somewhere. I know that, but
I know I've written it down. I just don't remember where.
Oh, Al Springer. Al Springer had gone
Springer
to
close. Yeah.
Spawn Ranch to tell DiCarlo, like, hey, we need to get you out of here. We need to get you away from Charlie. We need you back.
Yeah.
This kind of stuff. And DiCarlo told Springer.
The Straight Satans aren't good without their bookkeeper.
Right?
The keeper of the book.
Yeah. So the Straight Satans, or DiCarlo told Springer, like, hey, no, I'm afraid of Charlie. He finds people, and I'm worried that if I leave, I'm going to get killed.
Oh, the Straight Satans don't have a lot of protection for their fellers, or what?
Well, it had just been the one guy that had went out there. So
he's all alone, so he's afraid. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So while Al was out there, Charlie had tried to recruit him again, and Charlie had bragged to him about the murders. But that was stupid. So Al Springer left. He went back to the Straight Satans. He told the Straight Satans, look, DiCarlo's afraid to leave. He won't come back with us. We need to do something. So the Straight Satans are trying to figure something out. Meanwhile, on August 15th, Linda was sent back to the jail. But instead of going there, she decided that she was gone. She was done. She couldn't handle this anymore. So she stole the car that she was in, and she went back to New Mexico to find her estranged husband. She confessed everything to him. But when she left her toddler daughter at Spawn Ranch with
what kind of monster?
Family. Well, she figured, you know what? They really love kids, and their whole philosophy is that it's parents who do things to kids to fuck them up. So even if they hate me, she's going to be okay until I can find a way to get
until I can get a way to get her back. Okay.
Yeah. So that was her thinking.
Kids.
Her husband.
It's what's for dinner. Kids.
Yeah.
The other white meat.
Her husband didn't agree with this, and he kept telling her that he wanted to go back, but she kept telling him, he'll kill us. You don't understand.
Dude, I'm going back with an 870, and I'm going to clean house and take my kids home. And there's nothing to be afraid of anymore. Boogeyman's dead.
Yep.
I don't even need the 870 for him. I'll bring a 22. Take care of big boy.
On August 15th, a group of Straight Satans showed up at the ranch to pound Charlie to a pulp and take back their lost man.
Did they beat him up?
No. Charlie shocked them by greeting them and offering them food and dope and the girls. A couple of them decided that they were going to go off with the girls, so the group of the bikers was thinned. And when they finally were like, oh, fuck, we're here to take our guy back, and I'm going to fuck you up if you don't let him. Charlie was like, oh, hey, yeah, you know what? That's totally great. Guess what? Look up. So the bikers were like, oh, okay. Charlie had stationed a bunch of the group on the roofs with rifles, and they were being pointed at the bikers. So the bikers had no choice but to leave.
I have the high
They would have
ground,
just handled
Anakin.
business.
Yeah.
They would have just, if they would have just handled business when they walked in, every time you can throw them off with, hey, you want to sleep with these girls? They'll just do it. It's, I mean, it's free. They don't have anything.
Yeah.
Not
nothing.
that old in out and out
Blech.
again.
At daybreak on Saturday, everyone was woken up by helicopters and bullhorns ordering them to come out with their hands up. All the vehicles on the property were logged and impounded, and all of the family members except Charlie were in custody.
Who's excited about the Waco episode we're gonna have to do later on? Is anybody excited about it? Because it'll be at this point when we've got 3 episodes left to go.
Yeah. Yeah. They found Charlie hiding under a set building. 26 people were in custody for Grand Theft Auto.
I thought he would just stand out in front of a house and pretend to be a gnome. Just
he pulled a Saddam?
Unfortunately, by Monday, all charges on the family were dropped and they were released.
Of course they were.
The date on the warrant hadn't been updated, so it still read the 13th instead of the 16th, making the raid illegal.
When you said warrant, don't think I didn't want to sing Heaven.
I was going for cherry pie, but okay, whatever.
I knew each of you was going to have a different one.
Uncle Charlie's cabin?
Uncle Tom's cabin. Uncle Charles' cabin.
All of the children that were taken from Spawn Ranch on the day of the raid were placed in foster care due to living conditions. So there's one happy. There is one happy in this.
That's like the Rocktario moment when they did finally take the kids. We were like, yes, it's finally a good thing. And then it was right back to horrible.
We saved Rock Jr.
Charlie had the family shun the straight Satan DeCarlo, who was still with them. He also decided that a ranch hand named
you out.
Get behind me, Satan.
So Charlie had decided that a ranch hand named Shorty Shea, who had been trying to talk George
Sounds like a
Spawn,
fucking rapper.
He's biting his tongue right now, just so you know. I've never seen him kick the floor before.
Shay had been
Shorty
trying
Shea.
to talk George Spawn into allowing him to get the family off the property, and Charlie knew that, so he felt like Shay was the reason behind the raid.
Paranoid much.
Right. On August 25th or 26th, Shay, Charlie, Clem, and Bruce Davis got into a car. They drove out into the deserty area of the ranch, and Shay was never seen again.
Deserty area of the ranch.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to
Anyway.
allow it, Todd. I'm going to allow it.
How many bodies are buried out in the desert that no one knows about?
I want to say
freaking everybody, just freaking.
Charlie said up to 35 people.
Yeah. The first week of September, the family stole some cars and headed out to the desert. They prepared for war and went out looking for the pit on a daily basis. Charlie felt like if they were hungry and exhausted, they wouldn't argue with him and they would just listen to what he had to say. They were also dosed heavily with acid. On September 1st, 10-year-old Stephen Weiss found a gun in his backyard. With more brain than anyone so far, the boy picked up the gun using the tips of his fingers so he didn't smear any prints, and he took it into his dad, who called LAPD.
And then they just came over and grabbed it barehanded and threw it in the bag.
Well, they came over and put it in the bag, but this branch of LAPD was Van Nuys, which is a small branch of LAPD, so it was put in evidence. Reports didn't come into Van Nuys that they were looking for this gun. with broken pieces off of the handle. So the gun it wasn't known that the gun was there.
Okay, yeah, because it doesn't take a lot of great detective work to say somebody found a gun in their backyard. You should probably look to see maybe if something around had something to do with this. Just like, I started the evidence room with everything else, put it next to the bazooka.
This 10-year-old boy is the reason that the family was caught.
Ooh,
Charlie started a feud with a ranch owner named Crockett because members of the family were deflecting to his ranch. Now, Crockett was a Satanist or a Scientologist, and
which one was it?
It was a Scientologist.
No, one's worse than the
Same.
Scientologist is way worse.
It was a Scientologist, and the family members.
Way worse.
Yeah, it's the worst of the two. Yeah.
The family members that were deflecting to him were able to take Charlie's teachings and Crockett's teachings and felt like what Crockett was saying was more feasible. So Charlie
it's just like two flavors of bullshit kind of mixed together, right?
And then
so cool.
Crockett met up with Tubbs, and they moved to Miami. Woo!
Charlie lost.
Lindy's too young.
Two of his best men and a couple of his best girls. 2 Crockett.
Uh-oh. The ones with boobs left?
Yes.
Oh, no.
Beausoleil's trial was set for November 12th. The family started running low on drugs and supplies. They were basically starving. So Charlie went on a trip to LA to scrounge some money and food. He was able to get a busload full of food and about $1,500. I don't know how, but he did.
How the fuck exactly? What?
I'll suck your dick for some rock.
So what you're telling me is that Charlie has all these people and he sends them out and they come back bloody and pissed
With
off
70
with 70
bucks.
bucks, and he goes, I'll do it my damn self.
Mm-hmm.
It's easier for him to sneak in a house, though. I mean, it's like
he's a wee leprechaun. He calls his Keebler elf buddies, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we can let you in. No big deal."
It's like a lot of people have doggy doors, and you can just walk in it and take what he needs.
On a joyride in a Toyota that some of the family members had stolen back when they decided that they were just going to take off to Death Valley.
Way more reliable car.
Mm-hmm. The family members that were in the Toyota saw an earth mover, and it was blocking one of the only roads that they used. So they decided that they were going to take some parts off of it and they were going to torch it.
What?
Yeah, they lit it on fire.
For the grades, you're
naturally.
Good.
Was it like 98% metal?
Naturally, police, went out there to the scene, and they were actually able to match the tire treads to the Toyota, or to a Toyota. And a couple of days later, they found a group of girls in the Toyota and Tex, but Tex had actually dipped out into some brush, so they didn't see him. Girls were questioned. They were released. The plates were run, and the officers found that the plates on the Toyota didn't belong to the Toyota. So the police came back out, and they found Crockett with one of the former family members. His name was Potson, and they told officers all about Charlie's group. They told them, what they'd heard about the murders, what Charlie was teaching, about the pit, about this, about that. The police officers felt like, you guys are fucking crazy. It's just a big bunch of group of hippies. At this point, Tex,
right?
You forgot dirty, stinky.
Yeah.
Left out some adjectives.
Yes. At this point, Tex decided to run back to Texas. So he had gotten a hold of his parents. They sent him money. His sister met him at the airport. He went to live there. Tex couldn't stay away. He was withdrawing from the drugs. He couldn't stay away. He was starting to think that Charlie was right. Helter Skelter was a real thing. So he decided to go back to California.
Wait, I didn't think they were on hard drugs.
He missed that poop.
I thought that was Charlie was against that. Oh, okay.
Yes. But Tex and Susan were on hard drugs.
Meth,
they were able to get meth from the straight Satans, and they hid it out on the farm.
Okay.
So Tex had gone back to Spawn Ranch, but everybody was gone. So he went back to LA and just kind of hung out there until there was something that he could do. But then he ended up actually going back to Texas again.
I can only picture him alongside the road with a cardboard sign that says "We'll kill for meth" or some shit.
What does any of this have to do with gay porn?
I don't think anything yet.
We're getting there, actually.
Yeah.
A raid happened at Barker and Myers Ranch on October 10th. Everyone found at the ranches were arrested and booked for theft, arson, and receiving stolen property. Police returned to Barker Ranch on October 12th, and 7 more people were arrested sitting at the kitchen table. An officer who had been listening to the people that had already been arrested in the first group realized that the person that they had been describing as their leader wasn't there. So he was like, you know what? Wait a second, because we've been watching and we saw headlights come back. I know he's here. So I'm going to go look around. So he took a candle, single fucking wick candle, and walked through the house.
It's like, okay,
he got
this
into
guy's
the
3
bathroom.
foot 2, wee little man. He's wearing a green suit with a big top hat. Okay, well, I'm looking for a...
He goes into the bathroom and he looks at the counter and he sees a couple of strands of hair sticking out of the cabinet. So he stood there silently.
As shit. That is creepy as shit.
He stood there silently until Charlie opened the cabinet himself. Dude points a gun at Charlie and says, like, don't make any sudden movements. Don't do this. Don't do that. Blah, 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 blah. Charlie looks at him and says, hi.
Just says hi. He doesn't
Just
say
says
like,
hi.
hey there, you found me. Now you get to meet pot of gold.
So he was hiding in the medicine cabinet?
Yes. Basically. Yeah.
Gee whiz.
This disarmed the officer.
That is creepy as shit, though. I got like, I don't know.
Because
one of those Asian horror movies stuck in my head because you know the hair, you'll see the hair or whatever.
Yeah.
It creeps me the fuck out.
When the officer was asked later why the fuck he hadn't just shot Charlie, he said, how do you shoot somebody who comes out of a cabinet and says hi in the most pleasant voice you've ever heard?
Plus he's young. Did you see him?
Yeah.
He promised me his pots of gold. Jesus.
27 family members were now in custody.
Wow.
Lutzinger, who was the girl that was pregnant with Beausoleil's baby, her and another girl had tried to flee, and because of how dark it was in Death Valley, they ended up getting lost. And on the night of the raid, an officer found the 2 girls, and the girls were like, listen, this is what's going on. Please take us to safety and we'll help you. So they had actually been looking for Lutzinger to testify against Beausoleil. And so she decided, listen, as long as you're going to keep me safe, I'll flip.
Fair enough.
She told them everything that she knew, which connected Susan Atkins. So Susan Atkins is in jail. She's brought in. She's questioned. And she admitted to being a part of the Hinman murders. LAPD officers took some of what Susan said, and they finally fucking realized that she had described 2 murder scenes. So they started to link Hinman and Tate.
And by the way, did you see my boobies when I done the Topless Witches review?
Yes. Susan craved attention, so she had 2 cellmates, and she confessed everything to them. Leslie also mentioned knowing about the killings when she was asked about it, but they couldn't get much out of her. Charlie had been arrested in his buckskins that were held together by the same leather thongs found around LaBianca's hands. So the officers took some of those and they compared them. So now we have linked Hinman, Tate, and LaBianca. Al Springer, the straight Satan, was also found, and he told police everything that he had heard, which included details that were not made public. And when they asked him more about it, he said, you know who you need to find? You need to find Danny DiCarlo, because he was actually a family member, and he's out. Like, he's out of the family, but he knows all about this. So DiCarlo was then found. Oh, and Al Springer also surfaced details about the fact that there was another murder that hadn't been found yet. This is Shay. So DiCarlo was found, and he gave a taped, detailed confession, and he handed police the sword that was used to cut Hinman's ear. Susan's cellmate, one of them, also gave a taped confession. The other one had been moved and was waiting to be heard on her confession by the psychiatrist at the facility that she had been moved to. So when she was finally able to give a confession, all of these taped confessions were played together, and the details were so close that they were able to use these.
Yeah.
Tex was also identified and arrested in Texas.
Didn't they find
properly?
They found one of his fingerprints, correct?
They had found one of Tex's fingerprints, yes.
Not the one on the button, though, because the cop smudged it over.
Exactly. No, there was a palm print left on the fridge door. So I am going to make the rest of this a short shit show.
Yeah, because you could go another episode, really, couldn't you?
Summarization.
But I'm going to make an offer here. So there is an end to this, but I did not go into the trials where Charlie proves to you just how crazy he is, and the girls didn't do any of this. Okay, I am going to end this with the sentence, and I'm going to end this. If the listeners want, I will do a 4th episode on this after the Battle of Los Angeles, which is what we're doing next week. P.S. I just gave it away. But we need to know. So if you want the 4th episode of Manson, if you want the trials, please let us know, and we'll do another episode on this.
Most of what I got from me.
I'm
Most of
fucking
what I
Are you
done.
mad? Do you feel like Wolf Kebab
Is
from
that I don't rightly know where it is.
Most of what I get from it came from White Zombie, where it's like, today you're going to get up holding your hands in some stupid symbols. You're going to get up and scream. You're going to get up and burn an X in your head.
So the trials is where, you know, all of Charlie's crazy came out. It's where the girls are nuts. There's following this.
Shave their heads.
Following this is also an assassination attempt on a president. So if you want a 4th episode, I am happy to finish reading this fucking book.
You're a lot nicer than I am, Lindy.
But you do have to ask for it. Otherwise, I am fucking done with Charlie Manson after the next paragraph. Go ahead, Zach.
I was just going to put in there, if you want to email us to let us know, it's hmfppod@gmail.com, or you can hit us up on the website, hmfppod.com.
Tell us next week on the live.
Same thing on YouTube, same thing on Instagram, same thing.
Yeah.
I vote no 3,000 times.
Okay. August 19th, 1970. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's try that again. April 19th, 1971. Charlie, Susan, Pat, and Leslie were sentenced to the gas chambers. They were spared because California, just shortly after this, abolished the death penalty. Charlie died November 19th, 2017 from cardiac arrest brought on by colon cancer. If you want the 4th episode, let me know.
Ding dong ass off me.
Yeah.
There you go. And if you don't, and you still want to learn a little bit more, like off the record type shit, and there's so much shit that we didn't go into. If you read Tom O'Neill's book Chaos, it kind of ties in MK Ultra into this story, and it links a lot of the people we talked about before with Manson. and the possibilities of what may have happened there. So
Jeff Gwynne also has an incredible book. It's called Manson, and there's a lot of not formerly known details in there as well.
Yeah.
Because you can't believe any of them. I mean, even the girls, just lied out their asses till the end, I think. I mean,
It's a
I think
very
someone got
sexist statement for you to make, Matt.
Mm-hmm.
Girls aren't always liars.
Just the Manson girls is who I was talking about. It was a select few of 3 that
yeah.
that I was speaking about. Todd, thank you.
There is a lot more to this, but it doesn't have, it's just the trials and that kind of stuff. But it is interesting, but I'm not going to go into it because unless you guys would like us to, then in that case, we'll do another one. But
there's no more murder. There's no more. Yeah.
There's no more murder. It's just basically Charlie becoming famous and.
He did it on purpose, and then like a lot of political speak or like trial speak, which is boring as shit. I didn't do it on Ed Gein. I skipped that part because it was just like, it'd be a whole nother episode that nobody's going to give a fuck about. Because
yes, the only thing is that the things that happened in Charlie's trial and in
there was more excitement in that stuff.
There is a lot more excitement in that,
because Ed didn't give a shit. He was happy where he was at. There was no excitement in it. It was just a bunch of dates and years and bullshit. None of it mattered. It's like he ended up here, and this is where he stayed, and he was happy.
Yep.
Fucking dick.
Well,
so that is Charlie Manson.
Fuck it, I'm done. Just say it.
Fuck it, I'm done.
Yeah.
Fuck it, I'm done.
Well done.
If the dog wasn't sitting here actually being quiet, I would throw this book across the room.
You got to give it away. We can give it away now. We can give it away to somebody.
We can.
Because I did that with the with the Ed Gein book. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it with the Albert Fish book. If I haven't wiped my ass with those pages, I'm not kidding. If I haven't tore them out and used it for toilet paper, because I hate this guy so much.
Matt results to putting things in his life.
Just do me a favor, Matt, and wait till after we get done with the episode before you wipe your ass with that book. Okay, I don't want to see that.
Oh yeah, I will. Yeah, I'll wait till the end.
Literally,
don't
want to see that shit.
Until it's all the way over, and then I would do it live.
Well, Lindy, you did a wonderful job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, you did.
Let's wrap it up, Matt. Let's do it.
Hey guys, thank you for listening to another episode. Lindy killed it. Guys, if you want to rate and review, please do that. It's some of the algorithm shit. Like if you say stuff and give us 5 stars, then more people get to see it. I mean, you can tell people about it, which is great, but they won't push it or it won't pop up. Like if somebody's like true crime podcast, ours is not going to pop up there because we're so low. So if you would put 5 stars, it might get higher up there. So if you do that, that'd be great. If not, fair enough. Thanks for listening anyway. So once again, thanks, Lindy, for a great story. Zach, anything else, my man?
I think you nailed it. Be sure and join us on the live stream every Saturday at 7 p.m. Central on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. You can find us at HMFPPOD, where we talk all kinds of shit. Sometimes it's not even true crime or anything related. It's just us talking shit.
Sometimes
it's literally shit.
Yeah, sometimes we watch videos and talk bad about people who annoy us a lot.
Yeah.
So that might be coming up. We'll see.
Quit turning it off. I'm pushing buttons over here.
I know. You're pushing too many fucking buttons though, man. You're driving me fucking nuts.
You nerve-wracking sons of bitches. It's like playing cards with my brother's kids. Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, we'll see you guys next Tuesday. I am Spar.
Zach.
Lindy.
Yes, I am a meat popsicle. Okay, I love you. Bye-bye.
Later.
Bye.
It's evil! Don't touch it!
It's alive!
I was with you.
They're coming to get you. nice.
This is the Hello, Mr. Fancy Pants.
Fuck Charles Manson.
I would rather not, but you
I
can.
don't even know how it's possible. You'd have to. I mean, the dude's butt's like 2 foot off the ground, right? I mean,
Sounds like. Well,
How
and
do you
we'd
do
also have
that?
to call Ed Gein. We need to call Ed Gein. Yeah. Okay. Good enough.
I don't think he'd have any. I don't think he'd want anything to do with Charlie.
I don't know, man. He's got nipples.
No, he certainly wouldn't.
You gotta have a belt. As long as it's an even number.
It's God's nipple belt.